What's up? What's up? Today is April 8th, 2025. So I had one trade for the previous session, which was this Singapore yen. It was a micro time frame trade. If we scooch on back here a little bit. It was a CBO. It did not play out. Kind of similar to the trade we took yesterday, except for this had not hit the target. Everything about this trade is what I would take. The only kind of negative I would say is that at the time of the trade, you had this kind of bullish engulfing candle, but it is sitting right at the 1 hour 50. You know, probably like as I've looked at this, I think it's about the only main negative I see. So you have a clear, break to the upside, clear break of trend on both your 10-minute and the 2-minute. You have a coming back for the retest of the EMA's fib. If I throw in this pivot was there as well. And so the pivot, and I entered on a limit order, and it just straight failed. So as far as like a live entry would go, it never really gave one. It's kind of bobbing right here where you could say possibly a live, but I would prefer to do live entries between like 0.382 and 0.318 and 0.5, somewhere in that kind of area. Honestly, anywhere between 0.318 and 0.618, 0.382, 0.618. I can't. My brain is scrambled today. I'm in front of these charts all day long. So there wasn't a live entry on this, and price just fell. So if I was utilizing live entries, I never would have taken the trade. But since I'm utilizing limit orders currently, it hit 0.382. It triggered me in, and it just went straight to the stop loss. And as you can kind of see here, like price just collapsed and collapsed and collapsed. The same time I was looking at entering this trade, you had dollar yen doing the same thing. You had pound yen doing the same thing. CAD yen kind of, but it was a little ugly. But dollar yen at the time, which would usually be my preference, given I'm trading during New York session, had already hit the profit area I was after and was kind of retracing. It still looked okay, but this looked better considering it hadn't hit the profit area yet, and it still needed a pullback, still kind of a wave one breakout, and it just failed. So, but I've taken these trades a number of times and they've played out. So it's just part of the probability game, I'd say. So I can't really see too much besides maybe a little bit on this daily. But as far as the 2-minute kind of price action and the 10-minute price action goes, I didn't really have a problem with it. So I felt good about it when it triggered, and then I did not feel great about it all of 10 minutes later. So that's 2 losses in a row for me. So I'm currently sitting at negative 2R for the week. I did pay attention for most of the session today. I mean, I've been in front of charts all day. And the pairs I wanted to enter didn't pull back for me to enter. A good example is this. There was a pound dollar right at the end of the day, right here. A nice little quick CBO trade. Price pulls back, the wave one CBO, kind of same concept to this other trade we just took, right? It's just a wave one CBO. And so we're targeting the wave 3 run. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So same concept as that dollar yen trade that didn't play out. Break, retest, the EMAs, the pivot, the fib, and go short. So, but it never triggered me in. It damn near did. It got very close, and then turned around and went straight to target, essentially. So it's a shame. So this is what most of my day looked like. I found a number of different setups that look good, but they never really retraced to either trigger me in or to an area of value in which I felt comfortable using a live entry. So yeah, let's clear some of this out. As far as the daily watch list goes that we had from last night, whoops, something disappeared. I know we had dollar yen on primary, and then we had, it may have disappeared when I got rid of, I don't know where it went. Either way. I know dollar yen was on primary. We had dollar yen and Singapore yen. So another reason I took this Singapore micro time frame trade is because I had the long bias from the daily watch list. Granted, that daily trade kind of already played out. It never pulled back to give like a limit order entry, but if you wanted to be super aggressive on like a 5-second entry, it did give one of those, like right here, if you were more so position size like that. And then price kind of ran up to a little bit beyond 1R right there. So if you were really aggressive with your management, you probably could have captured it. But if you didn't and you kind of just let the trade play, then it would have been a break even if you used a live entry. But pivot order entry wise, once this price kind of pushed up here, this is a no trade at this point, even if it comes back and retests. You really want price to kind of push up, come back, give you an entry, and then continue upwards. You don't really want it to come back, give a shallow kind of retest, and then push up, and then come back again. The probability of it playing out is just not worth the risk in my eyes. So, but dollar yen, similar, like right here is, this whole movement right here is where about the same time I took the Singapore yen. So dollar yen also was presenting an entry, which it would have been a very clean entry if it played out, and it would have gone with the daily bias as well, because it would have been breaking this trend right here on your 10-minute, right? So just something roughly like that. But you broke trend. It's coming back for a retest of those EMAs and everything. So same thing as the yen trade, Singapore trade. But it just completely failed. So it failed to hold price right here or anything of that nature. So if you were in this trade, there was like a live entry roughly around there or so, and to something. Either way, the first bit of management would have been like going to P1 as soon as that 50 EMA was broke. And then once this kind of, it pretty much taps the 1-to-1. So at that point, you can just move the trade to a break even. And then you would have probably been taking out of this trade for a break even or a fail safe exit a little bit below for 0.2 or so. So varying results just depending on where you entered these trades, if you took them as day trades. I think these are just kind of secondary watch that we had, and then we were still watching a lot of the ZAR pairs. We'll get into that in a minute. Euro CAD was also the other one of the primaries we had. It never pulled back for an entry. So it technically played out, like our short bias played out to target, and then price, quickly reversed. Another kind of reason why, like if it doesn't pull back to give you an entry and then it just go ahead and pushes to your target and then pulls back, entering the trade at that point, it's a pure no trade once it's tapped your target area. So So Eurocat was a no trade. Aussie knock was was kind of secondary, I think, because I know we wanted to possibly try and short dollar knock. So it was kind of weird to go long Aussie knock, but Aussie knock would have played out if you would have gone long. I didn't take this trade, but it gave valid entry. You know, price action's a little weird, but it's still pretty much a CBO and push to recent highs a little bit beyond 1. So you could probably lock in a 1 on this, or you can get super aggressive on your management and kind of exit on a 30-second break or so for a little bit more than 1. So interesting trade. So I don't know what the spread was like at the time of entry on this, though. If the spread was anything like this, it'd probably be a no trade for me. I wasn't really watching it. I just had it flagged to see what happened. I never really found a way to enter dollar knock for a short play. Still kind of watching it, see what happens here. It may wait for a breakdown and then kind of an IBO style play tomorrow or something. And dollar PLN, I don't remember what we had this flag for. So, what the pivot look like yesterday? No clue at all, actually. Cool. Let's delete some of these. I've already gone through and made a watch list and flagged a bunch of pairs. So we're going to move all these over. There is, as you can see, as everything marked in yellow, there is a ton of stuff on development watch. It's not ready to be traded, but it'll be nice whenever it's fully developed. And I'll show you what I mean here. So as far as what kind of group we got here, these 2 czars. Watch those. Just gonna throw that up there. Just quickly starting to look like a no trade. Or maybe a WTF style trade. So we have a ton of stuff on development watch, but the main thing really are a ton of Aussie pairs and Kiwi pairs. They're all pretty similar. Honestly, we'll just group them all together. Probably be the easiest way to do this. It's our Aussie Kiwi group. That needs to go in there. We have a pound. We still have some knock pairs we're watching. We have czar pairs. Let's knock, 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 knock. And then pound, pound, and then Swiss yen. Yeah, so we have some Swiss pairs on watch. Let's start up here. Let's see what's actually pressing. So I didn't find a whole lot today, not a whole bunch of like quality kind of trades. I have these czar things flagged mainly because like this dollar czar, this is the all-time high for this currency pair. So I'm kind of curious what happens, right? Does it hit this and start retracing, or does it start decelerating right here or something? But I mean, it's been on a tear, so at some point it has to pull back. So I feel like there soon should probably be some opportunities with this, and they could be later today, you know, or tomorrow. Same kind of thing with all the czars, really. But dollar czar was the only one that's like approaching an all-time high level. So euro pound, similar to yesterday. I'm still entertaining a short on this if possible. I mean, price is still kind of massively exploded. I had this tiny little retracement yesterday. But I'm kind of have it flagged just to watch and see what happens from here. See if it decelerates, see if we get a breakdown, see if it's something I can trade on some micro time frames or what it is. So not really a trade right now. So the only two trades that I possibly have are two CAD trades, which would be this CAD PLN, which when I originally flagged it, price was sitting about here. So it's already fallen some. So this is starting to become a no trade, it looks like. But just kind of a quick IBO. With the current spread, like this isn't tradable for me. But out of all the currency pairs that I scanned with my brokers, the only thing that I saw that was really even worth flagging for a potential day trade. Something like that. But it's also kind of trappy here on your 4 hour, right? So it honestly would be a better WTF, but it would be hard to enter this as a WTF. It's impossible with the spread, but I'm curious if later on the spread will tighten up, because I mean, it's still relatively close to market rollover. So this would probably be the main thing, is playing a wave 2 pullback off of this level. You know, it's pretty much hitting your 4 hour EMA, your 1 hour EMA. So it's interesting. As far as like normal stuff goes, the only thing I can see is this CBO-esque, but it's not great. But out of everything that I was able to scan, it was the only option that I was able to find. So, you know, a tiny break of trend here, pull back, position size, something like that. 35 pips, 70 pip target or so. Maybe like 37, 74 or something like that. So this is really the only kind of like day trade possibility I have, but I wouldn't label it as primary. This is something that I'd wait for that alert to trigger and kind of see how it develops. See if it starts to decelerate on the micro time frames and gives some sort of reversal. But that's really it. As far as the stuff on watch, though, the things that are interesting are these Aussie pairs, like this Aussie dollar. You know, essentially we have a triple bottom here right now, which if you scroll back in time, it's really only been at this level 3 times, like over here in 2008 and 2020. So that's the COVID crash real quick. And then, of course, you got the tariff crap going on right now. So it's fascinating. But if price were to, you know, decelerate from here, go long, this would be a nice like IBO come tomorrow or later in the week. Or it technically could be maybe an ABO tonight, but I'm not super confident in the ABO. I don't really like taking ABOs unless they just look like picture perfect. But in this case, this thing's kind of in no man's land. It's fallen drastically. It needs a reversal at some point. It needs to pull back, you know, could create value if it wants to continue going short on your daily time frame, which is going to give a reversal on your 1 hour. And most of the Aussie pairs are like that. You know, Aussie CAD's very similar, Kiwi CAD similar, Aussie Swifts is, you know, not really has a triple bottom going on here. Price is still kind of doing its thing, but it's all-time lows, I think. In the case of, at least as far as this chart goes back for Aussie Swiss. So just at some interesting levels here. So I have them flagged just to keep an eye on them, see what happens. Like Aussie dollar and Aussie CAD, though, they're also on watch for me right now as micro time frame trades. Like a 2-minute wise, I'm watching this pair right now, waiting for a breakout. I don't really want to take the ABO, but I would definitely entertain taking a like IBO break on this 2-minute time frame. So similar entry kind of to an ABO, of just taking it off this level, but with the added confirmation of a trend change on these micros. And then I might entertain even taking it, if it occurs and I'm able to get into it, taking the trade as an ABO and pushing the target on it some. So, but it's just something I'm watching right now on a couple of these. So most of your Aussie pairs are looking pretty similar. But if they break down and they reverse here in another day or two, all of these should be some pretty nice day trades coming up. Similar stuff, like I had flagged this Swiss yen waiting for a breakdown. So if price were to break down today and then come tomorrow, this could potentially be an IBO. Same with this pound Swiss. This is also one I'm watching on micro time frames to see if I can get in a little sooner, with kind of a 2-minute trend change. But I mean, super overextended pair. It's now hit this, other previous bottom over here. It's not all-time lows, but it's damn near at all-time lows. So it's at an interesting level, and it's overextended. So it definitely has room to move to the upside, more so than I would say to the downside at this point. So interesting trade. But if this breaks out and then come tomorrow, it'd also be another nice IPO. So, and that's just the theme with all of these kind of flag pairs. They're all just waiting for a little bit more development. And if they get it today or tomorrow, then they'll be a nice IBO essentially the following day. So all the knocks are still kind of on watch here. But yeah, so that's mainly it for me. This is really the only pair I've got on watch. I'll see what happens with it. I don't super love it, but it's an option. And then I'll see what happens with these Aussie pairs and see if I can't get into something here and take as a nice hyper trade. That's it for me, and I will see you guys tomorrow.